Well, hello. My name's Joel. As you know, I'm the pastor of Student Family Ministries here at Suntree United Methodist Church. And today I have the privilege of bringing our devotion for this week. I'm here on my back porch, and it's a beautiful day here in late May. Not too hot yet. It's in the morning. There's not a cloud in the sky, a little bit of a breeze, and I get to do this, and I'm pretty excited about it. I want to tell you a little bit of a story of my past, and it happened just as I graduated from college not too long ago. I was about 23 years old, and I finished school. I went to Taylor University. Taylor University is a Christian college in Upland, Indiana. I believe the finest Christian college in America. And shortly after graduating, my friend and I, my best friend at the time, Eddie Pettis, he and I had bikes, and we had an opportunity to go on a bike trip out to Colorado with our college. There was a ministry of the college, and the ministry was called Wandering Wheels. And we joined the group, drove out to Colorado, and had the opportunity to bike for 12 days in Colorado, sleeping outside mostly. And we got to climb over 11 mountain passes while we were there, about 700 total miles. And it was a blast. We went with 50 other people, like I said, and we just had a great time. I wasn't very prepared for it. I thought I could just go out there with my bike and pedal away and it would be a piece of cake. The people I talked with said, Joel, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Just show up. So I did that. I didn't really train for it. And the first day, we woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, which was pretty new for me. And by 6:30, we had eaten a small breakfast and we were ready to begin our first day of biking. We biked from 6:30 till about 11:30 when we stopped for lunch. At that point, we had made our way partly up a mountain and then we stopped for lunch. We'd gone up a couple of hours, so I thought we were kind of toward the top, but no, we weren't. We had lunch, and then about an hour later, we got on our bikes. We were in groups of 6. We went around the mountain, maybe a third of a mile, and there was a big green sign, and the sign said, Summit 10 miles. So we still had 10 more miles to go up to get to the top of the mountain. And that took a few hours to do that because we went very slow and it was very hard. And all I could remember thinking about was how much my legs and my thighs hurt trying to pedal up this mountain. It was pretty cool once we got to the top because the next 20 or so miles were pretty much down. So we got to just fly down the mountain. And we got down at about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then we headed across the plains on the side of the road. And we were going to stop in Colorado Springs, I think was the place we were going to stop. I didn't know where that was. And we just kind of continued to pedal. And it started to rain, and we were getting very tired and worn out on our first day. And all I could think of was, where is this city that we're going to stop in? And then I saw another green sign coming, and it was an information sign, and I knew the sign was going to tell me how far we had to pedal. And I thought, good, we're almost there. It was like 6 o'clock at this point. And as we got closer, I realized the sign said, Colorado Springs, 23 miles. We still had 23 more miles to go. So we finally got there at about 8 p.m. and I was worn out. But one of the things I remember on that day and all the other 11 days of pedaling up and down mountains was as we were heading up the mountains, I remember thinking how hard it was to get up the mountain. We went very slow. They were big mountains and it was just one pedal after the next, just kind of, continuing to do that. It was a challenge. I do also remember being at the top of the mountains and thinking, this is awesome. I've made it. It's so cool to be at the top of the mountain. And then, of course, the third thing was, I remember thinking, look what's in front of us. Look what's ahead of us. We had several more mountains to go over. We went 700 miles. It was really a blast. A lot of work. It was hard, but it was a blast, and it taught me a lot. Well, I think to some degree, what we're experiencing now during this COVID pandemic thing is similar to those things, what I went through riding through those mountains with my friend. First of all, I know for some of us, it's really difficult. It's difficult for me. It's difficult for the students in our ministry. We don't really know what to expect. Sometimes we just kind of put our heads down and like on the bike, you just kind of keep going. And I'm reminded of a passage in Scripture in 1 John chapter 4, verse 9. The writer says this is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. And one of the things I'm concerned about today with a lot of us, for a lot of us as Christians, is that we begin to drift a little off course in our relationship with Jesus. Maybe we are a little bit frustrated. It's hard. We see the mountains in front of us and we think, how am I going to conquer this? How am I going to keep going? And I think what I want us to think about, what I want to encourage you to think about today is to continue to pedal. Continue moving forward. Make sure your relationship with Jesus doesn't get thwarted during this time, but that it gets greater, that it grows. Fall deeper in love with Jesus. Trust Jesus more. That's my encouragement to the students. It's my encouragement to my family. It's my encouragement to us today, to stay the course. There's big mountains in front of us, and they look daunting, and sometimes it is uphill and it is a challenge, but it's worth it. Once you get there, just hang in there, and then what God has before us may be just the most amazing stuff ever. So as the writer in 1 John chapter 4 said, God sent his son for us, and he's there for us. And my hope and our joy is to continue to walk with him, to pedal with him, and to grow and stay closer to him. So I hope you'll do that during this pandemic. I hope you're encouraged. I know times are tough. I know some of you have a lot tougher than I do, and I recognize that. But I'm just praying that we can stay the course and continue and allow God to continue to work in us and just keep growing closer and closer to his son, Jesus. Thank you for paying attention. God bless you, and hopefully we'll see you in church soon. Bye-bye.